Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bella and today we're going to do a super fun study sesh as I show you guys how I personally study French. Just a PSA, I've been studying for years so know quite a bit, but if you are a beginner and want to learn, then I also recommend this method, but of course I'd advise you to tweak what you need to. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so here's what you need if you're going to follow along with my plan. A notebook, specifically 5 subject. I use different tabs for different things that I'll explain later, but I like the 5 subject, so I have the space to play around in it. Next, you'll need a grammar workbook to study from. You can also use a digital learning platform, but I recommend a book because you can jump around from subject to subject. You don't have to be restricted in your learning process. If you are a complete beginner and need a bit more guidance, then I would also have a digital learning platform alongside the book. Last but not least, you definitely need a short stories book. I learned so much from reading than I do out of my grammar book. This specific short story says it's for beginners, but it's honestly more for intermediate. I highly recommend this as it is a big step in my process. So here is my complete guide step by step. You can pause the screen or screenshot it if you need it. I'll go into further detail as we move along into the video. So my first step is Quizlet flashcards. I always study my flashcards from the previous session first to kind of wake up my brain to French. I don't know why this is so effective for me, but it kind of sets the tone and gets my brain to really think about French. Also, like I said, these flashcards are from the previous session, so I have not studied them yet. So I'm literally jumping right into it. If there is a flashcard that I have no clue why the grammar is the way that it is, I'll literally type that exact phrase into Google along with like explanation and then make notes about it in my notebook. Take this for example, pourquoi. I didn't understand why faire still had its ending, and if you know what the words are, having those 3 together like that is a bit confusing, if you read it quite literally. So I looked back into my book to the context clues, didn't find any, so I typed it into Google. I find it really important to understand grammar, but obviously you don't have to be perfect. Hell, I don't even speak perfect English half the time, but it helps to know why a sentence is structured the way that it is. I found this explanation of pourquoi on Quora. I don't usually use Quora. I just kind of found it on Google, so that was good enough for me. I just put it into my notebook, and I don't have a specific tab for it. I just kind of went with it. So the next page I just typed, like study notes, and then I kind of just added that in there. So now I'm going to be showing you guys my Notion. This isn't obviously a part of my steps or my process, but I thought that this was pretty cool. I got this off of somebody else on YouTube. But anyway, here's my page. It's my language journal. The very first thing that you see is my favorite French words and phrases. Obviously, I don't have a lot in there, but if I do find something really nice, I'll put that in there. So here's my favorite study plan ever. This is literally what I'm going to be copying and pasting onto the video. And under it says reminder. That's basically just, I haven't done it at all. I haven't done it at all. It's basically just saying like, in 2 weeks, I'll be doing a test. So like every other week, I'll test myself and see what I know. I haven't done it at all because I haven't really structured that yet, but yeah, there it is. My current focus, my goals, and what needs to be improved. And whatever books that I'm reading in French, I'll put those down on there. I really want to start learning like creative books that aren't just, grammar or beginner. Like I want to read like actual French books. So now we're going into reading. I jump into the where I left off, but I only read one page. I only read one page because this step takes a while, all right? I read through it once to get the gist. I don't necessarily really ponder on the words. I don't really ponder on what I'm reading. I just read it through and kind of get a good understanding of what it is. The second time I read through it, I will highlight all the words and or phrases that I do not know or understand. The last time I read through the page, so the third time, I read it out loud to really focus on how I pronunciate my vowels and perfect my speech. I don't add that into here. I did record myself talking in French, but then I read it, and then I heard it, and I was like, nah, we're not going to put that in there. I highly recommend a book that comes with a digital audio download, so you can listen to a native speaker read the text, then try to copy them. I didn't used to do this, but I realized that I was way better reading French than pronunciating and speaking it off the top of my brain. So I tweaked my routine and added this step alongside with another I will speak about soon. So now we're going to make some flashcards. And here is why having a 5-subject notebook comes in handy. I have the space to have a tab dedicated to these words. I will write them down, the ones I don't know, on the left column of the page, and the right column next to the word is the meaning of that word, obviously. Writing it down helps me memorize it better, but if writing something down 1,000 times doesn't work for you, skip this and go right into your digital flashcard platform. I also just use Google Translate to translate the words. I swear to God, I'm like the flashcard queen, like seriously. With all those words and phrases I didn't know, I will add them into Quizlet. Okay, so now I will talk about why I love Quizlet so much. This video is not sponsored in any way. I really wish it was, but sadly it is not. Okay, so anyway, I actually have Quizlet Plus so I can test myself and use other tools that I find so amazing. One of the greatest tools in Quizlet is that you can literally set the language for your flashcards to any language you want. So, as you are making the cards, some, if not all, the phrases or words are already available. So as I type it in, the drop-down bar will show me the answer before I type it in all the way. I don't know. I love that. It saves me so much time, and my study sessions usually surpass an hour, so whatever way I can save some time, I definitely will. So now my next step finally is using my grammar book. I skip around in it a lot because I learned French in high school, so I don't really necessarily need to know the months or numbers. That's really is majority of this book. But yeah, I like the more advanced chapters, and I highlight my pages very specifically that I will show you in a second. But here we go. I write the chapter and title the segment into my notebook and begin writing everything that sticks out to me, what I need to remember, the basic foundation of the chapter, and or the grammar tables that you will see frequently in these kinds of books. I write majority the page in its entirety, unless I know something it's saying already. This page, for example, I didn't write a lot for the sake of time in this video. So what you'll need for highlighting is blue, yellow, and green. Alright, so my blue highlighter, I use this for introducing a new chapter or a new subject point. A yellow highlighter is for specific things I find worth remembering, the more important things. And finally, green, this is for any words or phrases in French I write down. So even for tables or simple dialogue, if there is a dialogue, I write it in French. I will only highlight it in green, the words within the dialogue that I'm learning. So for example, if I'm learning past tense, I will write down the dialogue right from the book, obviously just from the book, from the book, and I will highlight the endings that represent that it is in the past tense in green. So if there's an ending with an asterisk or what the fuck? Ostrich? I don't know. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like there's certain endings for certain grammar things. So if that specific grammar ending is for the chapter that I'm learning on, I highlight that only the ending in green, okay? That's what I'm trying to, oh my god. I'm getting overwhelmed. Oh, right. Also, I sometimes do the exercise from the book. I don't always do the exercise from the book, but I try to do it in every study session, but honestly, these study sessions are so freaking long. I'll just skip it, but yeah, if I do, I will write it out on my notebook, exercise, yada, yada. I'll highlight that in red, and then I'll go on to the exercise. And any mistake I make, I will go over it in red, or usually just write next to the sentence. I'll just rewrite the sentence plain out in red. And I'll kind of like grade myself. And honestly, I be feeling so stupid. Those exercises be making me feel so stupid. So my final step, we finally made it, is writing. And this is the most important because this is, well, at least for me. Okay, this is the thing that I added into my whole process that I felt like I needed to work on, was learning, it was being able to speak French on the top of my brain, like from the tip of my tongue, just being able to go blah, 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 and just speak it, right? So I decided that I was going to write out in French, I was going to write French, 50 words a paragraph. At the end of every session, I'll write about anything that I want, but it has to incorporate what I just learned from the grammar book. So if I'm learning past tense, I will write in past tense within the little paragraph, okay? Does that make sense for y'all? Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, wait, yeah. I didn't show you guys, but I used a grammar check website to see if I did it all right. I didn't find, like, a really, really good one yet, so if you guys know one, just put that down below, but yeah. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The session really killed me because I was sitting here for about 2 hours messing with the camera and trying to learn at the same time. If you enjoyed it and this helped you, please like and subscribe. Without further ado, I'm out of here. I'm done.